Stories that shaped the week. Investigators into the EgyptAir crash that killed all 66 people on board say they cannot rule out a terror act as the cause of the tragedy. Police cars torched and offices of the President's party vandalized. Protests against controversial labour reforms hit several French cities, with many demonstrations turning violent. Also ahead this news hour, with thousands taking to the streets in Brazil over an alleged government coup, RT looks into what might really be behind the political turmoil in the country. We also speak exclusively to ousted leader Dilma Rousseff. With the top stories from the past 7 days and right up to the moment developments as well. This is the Weekly on RT International. My name's Ewan O'Neill. Welcome to the programme. As the search continues for the flight recorders of EgyptAir Flight 804, which crashed into the Mediterranean with 66 people on board, the relatives of the victims are mourning their loved ones. It's still not clear what caused the plane to plummet into the sea in the early hours of Thursday. Here's what we do know about the tragedy so far.
EgyptAir 804, contact Padua 120.725, good night.
This is 0725, better for control, EgyptAir 804, thank you so much, good day, good night.
The possibility of having a different action or having a terror attack is higher than the possibility of having a technical.
If you want me today to make a statement based on nonsense, then I will tell you terrorist attack. But if you want to make statements based on sense and based on facts, then we have to wait and see, and let's not jump to conclusions.
Well, on Saturday, international investigators confirmed reports that smoke was detected inside the aircraft a few minutes before it went down. The data was collected from an automated radio transmission, but there was no contact with the flight crew at the time. The plane's sensors picked up smoke in one of the toilets indicated to be in the forward part of the aircraft. A minute later, alarms also went off inside the cockpit. The final message revealed electronic failures in the plane's systems. The aircraft vanished from radar shortly afterwards. RT's Peter Oliver is in Cairo, where the investigation is in full swing. Some wreckage and body parts have already been recovered from the Mediterranean Sea.
We have heard from the aviation minister himself on the search efforts. He said that the search does continue, that they haven't recovered any important devices as of yet, and are widening the search area and hoping that that will involve more international partners over the coming days. When it comes to where the investigation will take place, where the wreckage will be taken, he said that the port city of Alexandria in Egypt was being considered. The believed site of the crash is around 300 kilometers to the north of the city of Alexandria. He also said that special equipment was being brought in by the French Navy. This is equipment that will allow them to search up to 3 kilometers down, which is in that attempt to find the all-important flight recorders.
The loss of the Airbus A320 has sparked scrutiny at the Paris airport from where it took off. Travellers at Charles de Gaulle are reporting heightened security within the terminals, with extra screenings and baggage checks. RT's William Whiteman was in the studio earlier to explain more.
Obviously, this is Europe, so I mean, you think that it's going to be safe, but actually, we spoke to some experts who actually told us that security in general across the region needs to be increased. It isn't sufficient enough. We can have a listen to some of these now.
I mean, the problem with airport security is it's only as strong as the weakest link. Lots of people who work at airports are very low-paid people, cleaners, people who put the meals on the planes. I mean, security vetting takes a long time to do, and when you've got people on minimum wages, on low pay, they just churn through these low-skill jobs, and that is a vulnerability.
You've got to be very careful about the people that are employed in sensitive positions, and thorough background checking needs to be done. Unfortunately, that has not been done as well as it could have been over the years. Sometimes you're not seeing much more than cosmetic security.
Something which really sort of emphasises this point is the fact that actually at Charles de Gaulle Airport some 57 employees were discovered to actually be on a government monitoring list for potential links to Islamic extremism. So this does certainly emphasise this point to some extent. Obviously, the other thing that we have too is that people have been leaving comments online regarding what they feel is the lax security at the airport, at Charles de Gaulle Airport. We can have a listen to some of these now.
Worst airport I've experienced. The airport could not handle the amount of passengers.
They do not track bags through this airport because they do not scan baggage. It's nearly impossible to know when your baggage will arrive.
The passport control was hopelessly inadequate for the 400-plus passengers who arrived on Emirates A380. There was one customs officer to process those with EU passports and one for the rest.
Well, we know that the funeral ceremony for one of the victims, a stewardess, has been held already in Cairo. Here are some of the stories of the people who died in the crash.